Hey guys, so this is the first time I've done a video in a really long time. This is my first time I've done a reading on video in, oh my god, how long. So if I'm a little bit awkward, just excuse it, let it go over. Try to take the message away from this. So I decided to do a collective reading for the next 6 weeks. I've really been debating on posting anything about it or even making a video or doing any readings about it. But for the last 2 days, I've been feeling really pushed to say something. To be honest, I didn't really know what to say, so I decided to do a reading. And I feel like this reading is really going to explain some things that maybe I couldn't otherwise. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So I pulled 3 cards for each week. Right here I have 3 weeks, but I've got another set for 3 weeks. Sorry, y'all, I had to pause that and get some water. Never do readings or channelings without water. Always drink a lot of water. So anyways, I have another set of 3 for the last 3 weeks of the 6. So, with this first week, there is this god, which I'm terrible at pronouncing the names, so I'm not even going to try. This god here, who is the god of balance, basically, as you can see on this side. It's dry and barren, but on this side over here, it's very lush, fruitful, watery. So this god is capable of causing drought, causing famine, or causing increase and manifestation and multiplication. And with it paired with the 6 of Wands and the 5 of Swords, I feel like it's about not letting yourself fall for the fight, fall for the wrong fight. Don't fight against things that you can't. Know what it is you do have balance over and what you do have control over, and use that to your ability. Use that to reach out to other people. It could be skills that you have. It could be words that you have. It could be your presence. It could be, you could be a good cook. Whatever it is that you have, that's what needs to be used right now. That's what needs to be done right now and focused on right now. It's very important. I think that if you were manifesting and creating a lot of things before this situation happened, that is what you need to continue doing. If you have to tweak it a little bit, because of what's going on, and kind of moderate or, I don't know, adjust whatever it is you're doing, make the necessary adjustments, but continue to manifest, continue to create, continue to do the things that you were doing before, in a modified manner if you have to. And for the second week, this card here is love. So it's like it has the sun and the earth in it. And the way that it's got this shape here, it's like, I don't know, kind of channeling to me, like love goes through the whole universe kind of thing. Because that is what lasts when nothing else does. That vibration of love, that vibration of manifesting, of creating, because even when we have decay, rot, deconstruction, all of that, it's necessary for creation. It's necessary for new things to be created. And it's paired with the Devil in reverse and the Hanged Man. So the Devil in reverse immediately to me said fear. But with it in reverse, it's like releasing fear. So releasing any of the fear that you were holding in the weeks before, no matter what situation looks like, no matter what the situation looks like, because the Hanged Man is about looking at something from a different perspective. It's also about being suspended in time, being able to pause and take rest. I kind of look at it a little bit like the Hermit, but in a more intense way. Like, it's more intense because this is a man hanging there. It's not just a person hiding in their home. It's a person who's possibly hanging there to die. So he definitely has some decisions to make, some ways to look at the world like he wasn't before. And he was put in this position to see what he could see from that position. And from this position, we have to release our fears, any of the fears that we have, anything that has been holding us back from resonating and vibrating with this true vibration of love, this true high vibration of manifesting, of creating, of making more happen despite the circumstances. Because universally, what happens is death and then rebirth. There's always a cycle. It's just how the whole universe works. Moving on to the third week, this is the card of the unconscious. There's a woman here who's laying in a bed, and it's kind of significant for dreams, and it's got all these eyes here. So for one thing, to me, that speaks of, because personally, what I relate to is protection in your dreams. And like I said earlier, if you know, then you know. If you're aware of what you're doing in your dreams, if your dreams have purpose, if your dreams have messages, then you need to protect yourself, and you should really look at those dreams and piece together the information that you can get from those dreams, because there's going to be a lot of information in there for us to pick apart and decipher. So communication is a big thing with that. If you're having dreams and you're not really sure what they mean, why you're having them, what it breaks down to, one thing that you can do is Google some of the images, some of the imagery, but you could also talk to people. Try to piece it together with other people who maybe understand dreams. I personally love to pick apart dreams. I'm a lot better at picking apart other people's dreams than I am my own, but I'm still pretty good at it. So just communicate with other people around you about what you're seeing. Don't hold it all in. And Two of Pentacles paired with Death here. This is about making a decision. So Two of Pentacles. Pentacles is about earth, physical things, valuable things, monetary things, money, stuff like that. So it being in reverse is like making a decision saying, I don't want to live like this. I don't want this to be the world that I see. I don't want to create anything in this world because it is not going to last. It's going to be like the sands of this drought, like the sands of this beach that this person is walking on. It's just going to fall away. It's just going to wash back into the water. It's not substantial. It's not anything strong enough to last. And paired with death, this is about huge transformations happening. This isn't just about physical death, and rebirth, even though obviously that is something that is happening. It is a reality. It is a reality of our everyday, of our whole life. Death is a part of this, and it's not something that should have fear. I think that it should be revered. I feel like it should be celebrated and respected for what it is. We spend more time dead than we do alive. So it's definitely a perspective, like this hangman, to look at things from. To look at things from something that doesn't die, the things that go on forever kind of thing. The vibrations that always are going, because our energy can't be created or destroyed. It just always is. It just goes through different cycles and different transformations along its way. So this is the first 3 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and get the cards laid out for the next 3 weeks. Okay, as you see here, we've got the next 3 weeks. This is going to be week 4 up here. This is week 5 here, and this is week 6 down here. So up at the top in week 4, we have the god of death. And I think one of the biggest takeaways I have from this particular god is that he is the phoenix that burns and becomes ashes. He is death. He is decay. He is rot. He is all of those things. And he has a mate in this deck. And of course, in the mythology, he has a mate that is the other half of him, who is also death, but is rebirth. Takes all the death that this holds and eats it and creates new. So the phoenix rising from the ashes would be his counterpart, which I love. And, coming into this week, 2 of Cups, 2 of Swords, we'll get to it. But more about divine masculine and divine feminine really coming together. But in week 4, we've got some emotional upset is what I look at as 5 of Cups, because it's a feeling of loss, some confusion, but it's not complete hopelessness. It's just like, blah, what now? And with 2 of Pentacles here again, so we had the 2 of Pentacles in week 3, but it was in reverse. Now we have the 2 of Pentacles upright in week 4. So I think what that's about is somewhere towards the end of week 4, we are going to make real solid decisions, or we're at least going to start putting together a picture of what we want to see, of what we really want to create out of this. We're not going to so much look at, oh no, what's going to happen to this, or no, what am I going to do if that? We're going to step beyond this point of loss, of death and decay, and we're going to be like, okay, now it's really time to put our feet down and make a path and make real things happen. And coming into week 5, we have formation, 2 of Cups and 2 of Swords, and this is all 2s, and then we've got a 2 here with 20. So I'm so excited about this. I just have a certain amount of excitement in me about these things, because I've seen these things coming for a long time. And what I'm seeing happen here in week 5 is part of what I've been seeing about this coming together of people of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. and really making truthful calls and saying that I'm not wearing the blindfold anymore. I'm not gonna continue to put this over my eyes because I can clearly defend myself. I can clearly do this for myself. My hands aren't tied. There's just a blindfold on my face. I am very capable of taking it off and defending myself. I have the know-how. I have the drive, the willpower. I have the community to do that. We might not realize that we are part of a community, but we are. There are a lot of us that are connected in a lot of ways. There are a lot of us that have abilities that when you put them together, they create something very efficient, very beautiful, and very new and fresh. And I think that those are the kinds of ideas that are going to start coming through and that are going to start being paired together and put together. And coming into week 6, it feels a little bit intense. With week 6, this is the god, the serpent god, or the feathered serpent god of knowledge and intellect. And I love when this one comes up. For one, it just seems like really happy, but at the same time, knowledge is power, and that god is the god of knowing. And I particularly like learning and knowing and figuring things out. But in doing so, it's intense. And some of the knowing can create this tower. And the tower is energy of foundations being ripped up, of what we thought was true crumbling, of different powers, different powers at play, kind of being exposed. And what has really been coming to mind is the Wizard of Oz and the man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain is really something that's been coming up a lot. Like, oh, don't look over here, keep your little blindfolds on. Don't look over here. Don't get together. Don't get too close. Don't tell people things. That kind of energy, it's going to be exposed for what it is on a massive, massive scale. And with the Emperor here, it could speak to, I don't even like using this word, it could speak to the patriarchy, but at the same time, it could speak to the divine feminine and divine masculine. It could speak to this transformation of feeling weak, feeling unempowered, feeling hopeless, feeling like everything is ending. It transfers, it transmutes through this coming together of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And it creates this emperor. It creates this energy of something that is good, something that is strong, something that has a foundation that can be built on, that won't just fall away once you step on it or once you start building stuff on top of it. It's going to be something more substantial than this. And I think that another big takeaway from this entire reading is, if we don't do this, if we don't come together, if we don't form this formation of community, of brotherhood, of sisterhood, of togetherness, if we don't form that, if we don't figure out how to do this, outside of the operating systems that are already programmed. That's where this gets mixed up. There's only one way to create a reality big enough to hold enough people, and that's by enough people creating the reality. Enough people agreeing that this is what it is that we want, this is what it is that we're going to do, and going through with it. No matter what the situation looks like, no matter what we're being told, no matter what we're afraid of, we stick to our guns. We stick to what we know we know. We don't let go of that. We don't let go of the inner knowing, the things that we have felt before we knew what we were feeling. The truth that resonates inside of us before it's ever spoken. The real that's created beyond the hologram, beyond the program. And like I said, if you know, then you know. And if this isn't resonating with you, then it's just not your time yet. That's okay. But if it does resonate with you, now is our time. We were born for such a time as this. It's time for us to step into our power, into who we are. No more questions. No more doubt. Make the decision. Go through with it. Team up. Do not try to do this on your own. You're not. You're not doing this on your own. There are a lot of us doing this. Thanks, guys, for watching this. I really hope that it resonated, that it hit home for you. I know that it did for me. I'd love to hear your feedback about what you guys think. Yeah, I can't wait to do more of these. See you guys later.